From soldier to board gamer to YouTuber, this is Board Game Officer. Welcome back. Today we're going to go over 9 circles.
Humanity has defied the abyss. The changes brought about by the Renaissance led men to question themselves, and among them, one had the revelation that salvation would no longer be achieved through faith. He, the supreme leader, founded the order with the sacred purpose of reaching heaven through Inferno, conquering the territory by force. Embodying the role of one of the generals of the brotherhood, organize your troops and extend your influence to claim the circles in the name of your mission. However, be careful not to become like those you came to fight.
Alright, so 9 circles is going to be a trick-taking game. This game is on the late pledge and pledge manager for Dante Inferno. If you are interested in this game, you can add it to your pledge. I will put a link down below for it. Now let's go ahead and look at the game. Let's go ahead and just jump right into how you play, and then I'll kind of talk about my thoughts afterwards. This video is sponsored by CGS. They wanted me to kind of show this off because no one really knows about it. So this is a sponsored video, so take that for what it's worth. So here we have, each person is going to take a certain color of tokens, and that is going to be your token there. This is going to be a 3 to 4 player trick-taking game. Each of you pick a different color of token there. Then we have just these sin tokens left over, which we'll talk about here in a second. You're going to lay out all 9 circles of Inferno here. Once you have these all laid out, you're going to take this deck of cards and you're going to deal out each player a card. Once all 4 players have their deck, you are going to start a draft actually. Meaning you're going to look at your cards. You're going to pick one card, keep that in your new hand. You're going to take that and you're going to pass it along. Everyone's going to do the same, so you're going to get, they chose this card, let's say. Now you have these 8 cards to look at, pick one, pass it along, and you keep doing that until everyone has a hand of 9. Once you have all of your hand here, you're going to see there are 4 different colors here. When the first player goes, you can pick any color that you want to play. When that color is played, each player must play that same color if that person has it. Standard trick-taking type mechanic there. Then once all cards are played, the highest card is going to win. So since this person won with the 9, if you could see that, let's say this guy did, he's going to put one of his tokens on, and these are considered exploration tokens, and he's going to go explore. That means he went and explored level 9 of Inferno. You can't really see that very good here. Let me use one of these tokens. There you go. A little bit better. So you're going to place one token on there, meaning that you've explored that. These going to go in the discard pile, and whoever won that round is going to start the next round. And that's going to continue around in circles until all cards are out. Every time you win, whatever card was highest, so let's say in this same pile, or same hand, let's say that 9 wasn't played, and let's just say a 1, 2, 3, and 4 were played. Because 4 is the highest, whoever played that 4 is going to place their token on the 4 because that's what they won with. So you always put your token on the corresponding winning card on the levels of Inferno here. However, this is where the twist comes in play. Let's say all these blues were played again, but player 4 does not have any blues. So he's going to play a yellow. Now, if you do not have the color, you can play any color, any number. But if all 4 cards are not one color, instead of the highest card winning, it is actually going to be the lowest card of an unexplored level of Inferno is going to win. Now I'll talk about explored and unexplored here in a bit. But so, in this case, because a different color is played, instead of that 4 winning, so instead of being able to place that, a different color was placed, therefore a 1, whoever placed the 1 token is going to win, and whoever did that places their token on level 1 of Inferno. Circle 1 of Inferno. I should be saying circle in these. However, once a third token gets placed on a single circle. After the third one is placed, that place is going to be flipped and is therefore now explored. So that is what it means by unexplored. These are all unexplored. This one is now explored. So in this case, if one was already explored by having 3 tokens on there, that means this one cannot win because it has to be the lowest unexplored circle corresponding number. So in this case, the 1 can't win because 1 is explored. 2 cannot win because 2 is explored. Therefore, 3 would be the winner of that trick and placing one of his tokens on 3 and then being able to start the next round with any card that he likes. You are going to go around in circles until everyone has played all 9 of their cards down and tokens and everything laid out. Now you're going to play 3 rounds. So during round 2 and 3, you are going to keep everything here as is, and you're going to draft for a new round. Once again, same way, you pick one, pass, pick one, pass, pick one, pass, all around in circles. And then, one thing I did forget to mention here, so you cannot win with a low explored number, but you can win with a explored high number. What is going to happen is, so let's say 9 is already explored with 3 tokens here. We got 3 tokens there. 9 has been explored. And that one's not very easy to see. Let's do this one. We'll just do both. 9 and 8 have been explored. That means, let's say I win once again. Here's an easy one. So we've got all these placed, and we've got a 4, 5, 9, and 8. So this 9 is going to win, but 9 is explored. So number 9 still wins. What happens is you take 1 sin token. That's what that +1 up in that corner means. If I'll zoom up on there if you can see one of these +1s. That means if you win, you're going to get 1 sin token, and then you get to place your token on any unexplored circle. Then at the end of the game, for every sin token that you will have to remove 1 token from the board. Now let's go over scoring so that kind of makes sense here. Scoring, if you have 3 tokens on a card, just like this, that times 2 means so you have less tokens. So that is 3 tokens on that for that one player. That is worth 10 points. If one has 1 and the other one has 2, this player gets 5 points and this player gets 3 points. So you can see how adding more, sometimes taking a sin so you could place a 3rd token on a place, can actually be beneficial as long as you play it correctly. So they have a quick rundown of 9 circles trick-taking game. Super quick little game. It takes, what does it say, 45 minutes, which I don't even think it's taken that long anytime I've played. But it says 45 minutes on the box. It's probably a half hour, 45 minutes with new people. So a couple things that I really like about this game. One thing I really like about this game is that drafting. The first round, it makes sense. Everyone wants the 7, 8, 9s, right? Because nothing is explored. But then you go through the rounds, and all of a sudden 9 is taken. Now someone has to take a 9, but you have to play very differently. Each round, your strategy has to be different depending on what is explored and what is not explored. You are going to have your natural, as kind of laid out here, your low ones are going to go first, and your high ones are going to go first. Usually, that's usually how it goes, but not always. It hasn't been that every time. Every once in a while, you'll have a 9 flipped over and then a 6 randomly, just because that's the way that it turned out. Playing the different rounds, and people try not to play their 9, so then a 6 ends up winning, or all kinds of crazy stuff kind of starts happening. Another thing that I like that goes right into that is this idea of flipping these over for explored and explored. Because, as I was kind of saying, it puts a different strategy into each round. So you have that drafting mechanic. So you almost feel like if you don't have a good hand, it's your own fault, right? Instead of being like, oh, I was just dealt a bad hand. I mean, it's still kind of dealt-ish to you, but it's really kind of fun because you can kind of draft it. And with flipping these over, it really puts a different spin on it. Also, the fact of getting a sin sounds kind of, right off the bat, sounds pointless, where I take a sin card and place it, but my sin card makes me take one away at the end of the game. But because the points stack, right, goes from 3 for 1 token, 5 for 2, and 10 for 3. So getting that third token on a space is worth 5 points. So if you can take a sin, get a third token on a circle, and then at the end of the game just take yours, flip a 2 to a 1, that means you're only missing out on 2 points, but you gain 5 points, right? So there can be benefits to taking sins. Another thing I like is because it's a trick-taking game, it's super simple to teach, super fast, but it's got that little bit of a twist. Oh yeah, like the different colored thing, where if they're not all the same color, the lowest one wins. But not only is it the lowest, it's the lowest unexplored circle that will win. So it really puts a little twist to that trick taking rather than just the highest card wins. So low numbers are never worth it. In this game, every card can be beneficial until the very last round. Then 9s and 1s are not very good and they kind of get passed around. So overall, I really like the different mechanics that it puts into this small little trick taking game. Now, a couple things that I have a hard time with is first the player count. Understandable. I mean, I think of like hearts or spades, right? Both of those you have to have like a pretty set number, but 3 to 4 is not a big range. But like I said, it kind of comes with the territory of the game. But I thought that was a very narrowed player count, but understandably so, but kind of bothersome. The second thing is, so I've played 2 ways, and I'm not sure which one is the final rule. Given all of this is prototype still, I probably should have said that at the first. This is all prototype, so everything is subject to change. And I've played 2 different ways. Once again, it's being prototype with these sin tokens. Now, in the rulebook that they sent me, it says that if you're playing with 4 players, if you get 3 sin tokens, it's an automatic win. Right then and there, you stop playing, you don't play any more rounds, it's a win. I don't like that because you can't really stop someone from getting a sin. So there's no way to, like, if someone goes for it, like, they're just going to win. I feel like that's a quick and easy win tactic. However, when I went to Gen Con, I played this with them. And the way that we played there was all of these are negative unless you get exactly 4. If you get exactly 4 sin tokens, you get a bonus like 10 points or 5 points or something. So, and I really like that. I like that mechanic better because then you're tossing it like, oh, I want that 4th one, but if I get that 5th one, I don't get that bonus points. You have to have exactly the 4 sin tokens to get the positive points. You still have to take them off the board, but you get those positive points from having sin tokens. So it's a way to kind of push your luck a little bit. And I like that way much better than the automatic win way. I'm not sure what's going to be final, but that's kind of one thing I wanted to point out there. The last thing about this that this scenario did not happen until the very last time that I just played. And I've played this about 5 or 6 times. So this is not going to happen every time, but the fact that it did happen really hindered. I played it with new people, and so it really hindered their opinion on it. But the rule is, so right, you can't win with a low card if that place is already explored. That means if at the end of the game you have 1 through 5 unexplored or explored, and let's say a 1, 2, 3, 4 is played, but with a different color out here, that means none of them can win because they're all flipped over. 1 through 4 is flipped over. So who wins? So basically what it says is whoever started that round takes a sin token, places one out on the board, and then goes again. Which at first I was like, okay, that's a way to go around it. But what ended up happening, because I won the last like 5 rounds, were all our low cards because we had only like 6, 7, 8s left to explore. So no one was using their low cards till the end. Anyways, I had 5 rounds where I got 5 sin tokens in a row. Not because I was trying, but just because I kept winning. And that was kind of a bummer because it was like, oh, there's nothing we could do about this. It just happened. I do need to double check because one thing that would help with that is even though if I won that round, right, I take that sin token, but instead of me going again because I got to place my token down, the person to the right gets to go. So at least those sin tokens are dancing around maybe. I don't know. Like I said, that only happened on my last playthrough. It never happened with anyone else, but it was 5 rounds of me just winning just because no one could win with any cards left. We only had a 7 left, and no one else had any 7s. So the last 5 rounds, or not 5 rounds, but 5 turns, I was just taking them all because everyone had different colors, and no one could win with any of their cards. So that was one area. But once again, like I said, this is prototype, so I feel like that's something that they can change, hopefully, in it. Overall, this game I actually had a lot of fun with. I love the strategy. I love the drafting. It makes it feel like you can get that strategy rather than just having a hand and trying to force a strategy. You really can kind of force your own, like, hey, I want a handful of all yellows. I can do my best, not for sure, but I can do my best just to have as many yellows as I want, or as I can. Therefore, I have less colors in my hand. Therefore, I can mess people up by placing down wrong colors. Right? That actually happened one time. I only had green and yellows in my hand, and my wife that was playing played a blue 9. Well, I didn't have any blues from the get-go, so I got to screw her over. She thought she was going to win the 9, but I screwed her over because I didn't have any blues, right? So you could do that, and I did that as a strategy. And I love that drafting mechanic because that's a strategy rather than just like, oh, I just so happened to not get any blues. Doing it on purpose is kind of cool. This is overall a positive game for me. That is 9 Circles. Go ahead and check out the link down below. If you want to know more about Dante Inferno, I've got a couple videos here and here, and I will see you later.